Good evening, Word on the Curb, family and friends. Thank you for joining me here this evening. For those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. For those of you who are coming back, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining me. We're talking about the audacity of broke. Did you get that? I like big hair sometimes. The audacity of broke. So before we get started, I'd like to remind you to drink your water, eat your fruit, moisturize your feet, hands, and face, and mind the business that pays you. And if you don't have a business that pays you, get one. I'm Annette Latigue, and I am your host here at Word on the Curb. I'd like to thank my producers and reach out to them and say, hey, 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 thank you, Frank and Christina Sassos. The Sassos. Yeah, that's who they are. We had dinner the other night, and it was amazing. So thank you. Thank you for the encouragement. Thank you for keeping me podcasting. And thanks for believing in my ability to do so. This is a hobby for me, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Gives me a chance to share about some of the things that I think are important. So, our topic tonight is before we do, I'd like to shout out extended family and friends Wayne Walker, Whitney Baylor, and Carla Langston. And I just want to tell you guys that I love you. They lost their mother and wife, and I lost a best friend. Tough times. Not always easy. She's being eulogized on Friday at Mount Zion AME Church in Trenton, New Jersey. Let's talk about the audacity of broke. When we talk about broke, most people will automatically assume that we're speaking to finances. And of course, finances play a role and it's in there. But baby, let me tell you, it's so much bigger than that. The audacity of broke is about a broken people who ignored, let me clear my throat, who ignored the November election of 2024. And now you got what your hand calls for. It's not going to be easy. The problem is, some people thought it was just about us, about them. The others, they didn't realize it was about all of us. We're all going to suffer the consequences of poor choices in November. And I'll leave it at that. 1600 is more than dysfunctional at this time. Okay? And so, I want you to know, as I reach for this alarm, that we're all going to pay the price for it. We're all going to suffer the consequences of bad behavior. We're all going to deal with the fact that some of you didn't have enough respect for yourselves, your family, your future, or the Constitution to get to the polls. Now it doesn't matter. The polls have been decided by two people. You'll get that on the way home. The audacity of broke is not just about money. It's about a mentality, right? So I'm sharing my experience, strength, and hope. And as I tell you, do your own homework. And what doesn't apply, please let it fly, right? So here we go. Audacity is more than money. It's physical. It's mental. We talked about the November election, right? When people are broke, their spirit is broke, their mind is broke, their heart is broke, their comprehension is broken. Like November 2024, things happen, right? Sometimes unintended. However, it's about all of that. And all of us at some point in time, this doesn't apply to the perfect people. I want to be clear about that. Doesn't apply to the perfect people. But all of us, at some point in time, have experienced some brokenness, right? And that brokenness is about our mental health when we're struggling and we don't know which way to turn. But struggle is a choice. Struggle is a place, it's not permanent. Struggle is not permanent. It's not. We can make it permanent now because we're broken, right? In some form or fashion, but it's not permanent. And so mentally we struggle, emotionally we struggle. Hey, have you ever loved somebody who didn't love you back? You got broken in that, didn't you? In one way or another. You got broken, right? Emotional brokenness impacts us mentally, spiritually, physically, and financially. When it's emotional, right? We've all suffered it. It's it's real. It's real and it happens to all of us. And physically, when we're not well, we struggle. We do. And it's not easy. Listen, it's not easy. So admitting that we struggle is sometimes difficult for people. But being broke is a season. It's not the whole chapter. A broken mindset is a lifestyle, right? You ain't just thinking, baby. And when you're up here alone with no support system, with nobody to talk to, you're behind enemy lines. Because, sometimes when we're going, sometimes, not all the time, sometimes when we're going through things, we struggle and we tend to stay in those seasons. You ever been in a season where your money was funny? We're talking about seasons now. We're not talking about forever. We're talking about seasons and we're talking about things that happen. We've all been in a money funny situation. We all been in an emotional situation. We all been in a spiritual situation where we were questioning where and what we were doing in our spirituality in dealing with people, places, and things, right? And see, for me, it's God. Whoever it is for you is all right with me. And again, what doesn't apply, let it fly. I believe in a power greater than it. And I say that often because I don't want you to misunderstand. Everybody has a season of broke. It's how you deal with it and how you accept it that matters. See, we have a tendency to look at social media and think, they're doing so much better than me. Actually, they're not. They just do social media better than you do. Because anybody who pretends to be happy all the time, that should be your first red flag for them. And I don't care who it is. We can't be happy all the time because I told you last week, life is going life, right? So the audacity of broke is when you don't know the difference between right and wrong and you vote people into 1600 in Washington and think nothing of it because you don't think the impact of the crazy is going to affect you. I know many of you have buyer's remorse. I understand it. I've purchased some things before and had to take them back. I've been in situations where I had buyer's remorse. I mean, real buyer's remorse. Real buyer's remorse. But it's life. It happens. Being broke isn't just about money. A broken mindset creates excuses, and excuses are the tools of the incompetent. They build monuments of nothingness, and those who dwell upon them are good for nothing else. Excuses. And so, as you look to your brokenness, I want you to understand that it's fixable because it's a mindset. Brokenness is a season, it's not a prison. And so many of us, notice how I include myself, so many of us look at this season as a prison. And sometimes it feels like it is, but I'm here to tell you. See, I can talk about these things because I've experienced them, right? My experience, strength, and hope. Sometimes it feels like a prison. Money comes and goes, emotions come and go, people, places, and things come and go. But you are the one constant in your life. You're going to be with you wherever you go. So make up your mind to deal with your brokenness. When you allow yourself to remain broken and not reach out for help, you become the warden of your prison because the audacity of broke is that any part of broke will take advantage of you. Broke friends, broke mentality, broke spirituality, broke finances, broke emotions. It'll all take advantage of you if you let it. Don't be the warden in that prison. You can get out. It's just a season. You weren't meant to stay there. You know, pay attention to the broke, the hustler versus the legitimate hustler. Let me get that in there. Versus the complainer. The complainer complains about everything. Oh, people are against. You ever wonder why some people tend to repeat situations? They can't get along with people. Somebody's always doing something to them. Might be time to look in the mirror. Mirror moment, right? That broken part of you, that unhealed child in you, that's brokenness, right? Don't let it be your prison. And drink green tea. It's good for you. Hasn't stopped the freckles and moles, but it's cleared up my skin. It has, because I'm sleeping better. For a change, took a long time, but I finally got here. Stay away from people who complain and aren't willing to hustle for the success that they want, right? Stay away from them. You know, your circle matters. I tell you this all the time. Your circle can either pull you down or lift you up. And if you're in a circle and they're not lifting you up and they're not teaching you anything, you're not in a circle, you're in a cage. If you're in a circle, they're always talking about other people, you're in a cage, right? Brokenness, the audacity of broke. The next time you're in a circle and all they're doing is talking about other people, I want you to remember that is the audacity of broke. It absolutely is because you don't talk about success, you don't feign success, you don't pretend to be successful, you build success. That's right. So, broke people talk about broke friends, right? Money gets tight. Sometimes the system is rigged. November 2024. Hmm. Yeah, sometimes the system is rigged, right? I said it, I meant it, and I'm here to represent it. Sometimes the system is rigged and stations blow up out of nowhere. Stations that were functioning properly before, but they handled electronics. Hmm. The economy sucks, right? It's going to get worse. So I want to encourage you to get away from that broken mindset. Build a small business for you and your family. I don't care what it is. Build it because there's going to come a time when you're going to need some money and a side hustle. It's coming. If it's never been here before, it's here now. Remember, I told you, don't make excuses. Do something about it, right? So, the investor versus the spender. That used to be me. I invested a little bit and I spent because I need to treat myself. I almost went broke doing that. treating myself. And guess what? So will you. Stop making excuses. Stop having a broke mentality. It's not about how much you have, it's about what you do with what you have. You'll get that one on the way home. I said it's about what you do with what you have. That's right. Um, the learner versus the know it all. That's the audacity of broke. People who are unteachable, they know everything. I don't know everything. I have tons of experience, I have a great education, right? I've been in positions, I've had experiences, a failed marriage, a successful marriage, a great job. I worked as an executive. I have my own small business, but I don't know everything. I want to be in a circle where people can teach me. If they can't teach me, they're not going to reach me because I have to learn. And learning is from the cradle to the grave. And listen, I'm not going to keep you much longer, but I do want you to understand that the audacity of brokenness, the audacity of broke will break you because broke takes advantage of everything in every situation where there's no healing, there's no dealing, there's no ambition. Broke will take advantage of it. If all your friends are broke and not able to participate in activities you need, then go find people who are not broke who can participate with you. And we all have those broke moments. I had plenty of them. And when I say plenty, I mean plenty. Thank God I got my mental, financial, physical, emotional, and spiritual together. And it's not 100%. I'm human. So, we have to be willing to admit that we don't know everything and we need to grow. And we need to grow with people who do know. I'm not hanging around people all the time who can't teach me anything. I don't mind a few, parties and dinners and laughs and whatever here and there, but I have to be able to learn. That's my personality. I need to learn. And if you don't, I'm good with it. We just can't all the time. It's got to be a hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Hope all is well. I want to be with those folks who are saying, hey, when's the last time you looked at this stock? When is the last time you looked at the housing market and made some decisions that work to your best interest? When is the last time you did a summary and studied what's going on right now and how you need to move and shake? I'm just saying, if you ain't evolving, if your circle's not teaching you, you're stagnant. If all you're talking about is people, you're stagnant. You broke. I'm telling you, not all about money. So flip your script. I don't care where you are in it. Flip your script. Do something different. Be willing to learn. Meet some new people. Go some new places. Do some new things. If you stay in the same circles all the time, you get the same chat. It's okay to have multiple circles. For example, I got a finance circle, right? That finance circle teaches me, baby. They got me on point. They got me away from that. I need to treat myself. Just treating yourself every day. When you have food in the fridge. How many of y'all been in situations where you didn't have no food in the fridge? I've been there. And it wasn't just in college. That's right. I've been there. My experience ain't no, baby. I'm telling you. For those of you who deny it, for those of you who are ashamed of it, to each his reach. Do your thing. I'm not ashamed of any experience that I've had where I learned. Not one. And in most situations, I've learned. Not all, but in most. I don't know why I keep taking my glasses off. But I can't see without them. Not up close. Far away, yeah, but not up close, right? So you can't build a wealthy mindset physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or financially if your circle's broke. If you're surrounded by broke thinkers, listen, if you're struggling with something physically and you're hanging around people who are struggling with the same thing and they're not trying to do anything different, you need to get a circle of people who say, hey, I'm struggling, but this is what I did to get through this day. This is what I did to make my situation better. It's the people you hang around. I'm telling you. And if you think y'all just talking about other people, they talking about you too. I know your mama told you that. Dog that brings a bone will carry a bone. Money flows where solutions go. Money flows where solutions go. Get away from that broke mentality. Get away from those broke thinkers that you've been hanging around. They're broke if they're not doing anything different. They're broke if they're not coming up with solutions. They're broke if when you're in a jam, they don't have time for you. But when they're in a jam, they need your time. They're broke. And you're letting them break you. You don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to stay in those situations. You don't. You choose to stay there. You don't have to accept less. Get away from that broke mentality. And when it comes to relationships, whether it's your significant other, your husband, or somebody else's husband, oh, wait, no, it shouldn't be somebody else's husband. If it's your husband, if it's your spouse, because sometimes you have a husband, that's the provider, and sometimes you have a spouse. you decide that. And their thinking is broken, y'all need to get on the same page. You need to get on the same page. You got to stop being stuck. You got to stop accepting less, and you dang sure don't have to let a broke mentality ruin your life, whether it's yours or somebody else's. You ever had people say to you, oh, how are you going to do that? When I was writing my books, because I have several, right? One is being reviewed to go to publishing. Two are already at the publisher. And listen, I'm not going to let anything interrupt my money. I'm not going to let anything interrupt my legacy. I'm not going to let anything interrupt my ability to leave a legacy of some success. Nothing. I ain't doing that. And where and when I need to be to learn, I'm gonna try to be there. I always want to be with people who are smarter than me because I don't know everything. I need folks who do know more than me. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're so much smarter than me. It means they can teach me. I'm teachable. I want to learn. I got a call to action for y'all. If this hit, share it. That's right. If it's stung, sit with it and get with it and check that mirror. If you're ready to break free, start today. I'm telling you, the audacity of broke. Flip the script. Know the difference. When you with a hustler who's trying to make it happen, I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, baby. And I want you to know it's not where I've been, it's where I'm about to go. And that's my mentality all the time. I'm looking for ways and means to make money, build my legacy, accomplish some things, move around in my hobby of podcasting, and not be worried about what you think about me or mine. Just don't cross us. Look both ways before you do. That's all I got to say about that. So I want to thank you for joining me here this evening. Broke mentality, broke emotions, broke spirituality, broke circles, broke friends, broke families, broke work buddies who don't have their mindset intact. Hey, it's a lifestyle. To not be broke is a lifestyle. Physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, or financially, it's a lifestyle. And I don't care where you are, we've all been broke at some point in time. Although some of us have a hard time admitting that. And if you don't heal that inner child who runs rampant when you ignore it, you're going to stay broke in one form or another. It's your choice. I'm just sharing my experience, strength, and hope. What doesn't apply, let it fly. I've been broke. I got a plan now. I'm not talking about success, I'm building it. And I'm retired. Go get yours. If your circle ain't doing it, find the circle that is. Shout out to all my family and friends who struggled with me, taught me lessons, took me places, learned me some things, learned me some things, and just were there for me. You need those kind of people in your life. Nabila, Ishmael, happy Ramadan, baby. I wish you the best. Have a good evening. And again, thank you for joining me here at Word on the Curb Podcast Studios. We're coming back next week. You thought the audacity of broke was interesting? Oh, you did admit it. Wait until you hear the next one. Baby, we're on fire. We got 90 episodes lined up just for you. I've been working, taking care of business. Baby, can't you see? I got to make it for me. I got to make it for my babies. It's called legacy. Good night.